So, welcome to the Wheel of Engagement podcast from Unity, Campaign for Change and Achieve Together. And this month we're focused on sexuality, thinking about St. Valentine's Day and Love is in the Air, all of that. So, we'll start with a round of introductions. So, I'm Michael Fullerton from Achieve Together.
I'm Jim Baird from Campaign for Change.
I'm Simon Tobin and I'm an autism ambassador and trainer.
I'm Esme Bonnet from C4C.
I'm Elmy from co-production team.
My name is Gillian Coffey from Unity.
I'm Stephen Adamson from Campaign for Change.
Brilliant. So welcome everyone. We're going to talk about sexuality today. Interesting topic. So hopefully lots of good conversations. Just to start the ball rolling in terms of think about what sexuality is. I'll start off by giving sort of like a bit of a description. What's the word I'm looking for? Definition. A definition. But chip in with anything else. So, what is sexuality? So, for starter for 10 is sexuality takes into account a person's sexual identity, their sexual health, sexual desires and experiences. And sexuality and our attitude to sexuality can be influenced by a lot of things, such as our culture, perhaps our upbringing, our friends, perhaps religion, and can be quite fluid, so can change over time. As we get older, we sort of like our experiences will change. But really importantly, everyone's sexuality is unique and individual to them. Anything you want to add as a definition of sexuality, or?
No.
Okay, so we'll start there. We usually have random questions we take out of a jar, a hat, but we're going to do it a bit differently this time around because we've got Shoe the Taboo. Fortunately, we have a Shoe the Taboo cards, which have been developed by Supported Loving. And if you're unfamiliar with Supported Loving, then please check out their website, Facebook page, Twitter, etc. So Supported Loving do a lot of amazing work around promoting the rights, needs of people with learning disabilities, autistic people, and have developed these cards which are very much like used to encourage conversations about various aspects of relationships and sexuality. And we're going to go through a few of them in this session, just like see how the conversation flows. Okay. The first card is focused on someone who's a support worker working in adult social care, and they're saying they're too embarrassed to talk about sex with people that they support, and asking the question, well, is it my job? Is it part of my role? So Simon, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so my thoughts on it, I think it is part of their role, but there has to be the right training given to them beforehand. And if they don't generally feel comfortable talking about it with people they support, then I would always encourage them to speak to their manager, and maybe that member of staff or another member of staff would do it together, so that person can learn how to sort of support that person the right way.
Okay, thanks, Simon. Anything else? What are you thinking, Julian?
I'd say they could be nervous to talk about it. They might be scared to talk about their personal issues. They could be nervous, but the thing is, you have to be strong to speak out your needs. So you might need help with it.
Fair shout. So people might not feel confident having such conversations. Any other thoughts, anybody?
Is it part of support worker's job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, part of the support worker's job to help people with it.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Stephen? Any particular thoughts on that?
You might get some staff that don't want to help with all that. You might get some staff refuse to help.
Okay, so any thoughts about why they might not want to?
They could be their religion, not their beliefs and all that. It could be part of it as well.
Okay, so for some people, it could be they're shy or lack confidence, and some people it might be they feel uncomfortable because of their own beliefs or their own faiths. But I think you're quite rightly saying that it's it's part of the support worker role to think about the whole person and all of the needs and rights of the individual, including around their sexuality. So I think you said, Simon, about sort of some training and sort of talking this stuff through with your manager.
Yeah, guidance and whatnot.
Yeah, so you'd like to think that within the organisation there was training around supporting people with relationships and sexuality, and a policy as well. I'm sure organisations should have a policy and sort of people be familiar with that. And then, excellent. So the manager could be using these cards in team meetings and sort of like supervisory meetings with team members to have these conversations in a positive way, so that the team and members of the team are acutely aware of all aspects of the role, but also dealing with any confidence issues, because we need to respect where somebody might be embarrassed or lack confidence, and sort of support them to work on that. Any other comments or thoughts on that?
Not from me.
Okay. So we'll go to another one.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is, so this is coming from a support worker. The person I support wants their partner to stay overnight. What should I do? Any thoughts, Simon?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that needs to sort of be done is assess to make sure the person you're supporting has capacity and understanding to know what sex is and the possible pros and cons and even consequences of sex. And I think you would also need to assess if the person that they're having the sex with or the overnight stay is also consenting and has understanding and capacity.
Good job. And yeah, so yeah, really important to I guess establish, if the person and their partner are planning to have some sort of sexual activity, and then sort of then.
And I think also it's important to remember that everybody's got a right to privacy and the right to have people to stay over. Again, if they are consenting and both consenting and both have understanding and capacity.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Simon. That's really good. I guess one point for people who might have a tenancy is there might be need to look at their tenancy contract to see if there's any restrictions on how often somebody can stay over. But yeah, that's really good. Anything you want to add, Julian? About people staying overnight and thinking about.
You have to arrange it with the support worker. You can't just have someone just come over and stay overnight. You don't know how long they're going to stay. So you have to speak to your support worker or your manager, arrange it properly, and come to some sort of agreement.
Okay. So because I guess so it's a supported situation.
Yeah.
So some planning involved, but central is the person and their needs, and sort of focusing on their relationship, and making sure that that is well supported. So really proactively, so we're not putting unnecessary restrictions in the way. Okay, Gillian, anything you want to say on this?
If people have to stay for one night, you have to let the manager know they're staying for one night. Overstay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So manager would need to be informed and involved. Yeah.
What about if people are planning to have sex when they're staying overnight? Do they need to know anything about contraception?
Yes, the staff want to know. Use condoms and contraception. You have to let the staff know about it.
Do you have to let them know, or do you just need to know?
No.
Have good information about.
Good information about it.
Yeah. Where would you get that kind of information? Do you know?
You can ask your support staff who's on duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
In your own house, yeah. Let the staff's team know about it.
Could you get some information at a sexual health clinic?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Clinic you want to.
To get some free condoms as well.
Yeah, from the doctor's surgery.
A bonus there? Yes.
Yeah, but those ones are rubbish.
They're rubbish, are they?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, but you just forgot to think about the sizes as well.
Okay. Don't think about the sizes. Okay.
Good point. Good.
It's good point. Well, you guys, there's all different flavors and shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thinking about the protection that works for you and is safe. Yeah. But yeah, so you're right, Gillian. In terms of sexual safety, sexual health, it's really important to have conversations in a very sensitive way, very confidential way, but important conversations to have with people. Very good. You mentioned earlier something about beds.
Yeah,
What was your point about?
because another bed is bigger and small room. With single bed, it's difficult because I'm a big guy myself, and I like a lot of room.
So if somebody's living in supported living or residential care,
And inviting someone to stay over, but a single bed.
single
you
bed,
can't.
yeah, you need the space,
I
don't
need
you?
the space.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
double beds or
yeah, better.
double. What are they now? King
King
size?
size, you could get kid size double bed if you go to Holiday Inn or something. You get the massive beds, you see.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, if somebody is staying over, where are they going to sleep? That's a big question to ask.
because-
What's people's understanding of consent and all of those complex issues?
Yeah.
Anything else you'd consider, Stephen?
Because if they're staying over, you have to get the person who's coming. They have to get the staff and that with the other house have to be in contact. Have sort of a plan.
Okay. So if the person's partner is also living in a supported accommodation,
Yeah, if it's a different house, they need to get
having those
the
conversations.
staff have to arrange it with the other staff to see if it's okay. And
The two men.
Good job.
The two men just need to talk about
yeah,
it
yeah.
because
There must be-
Amanda needs to arrange it properly
Yeah.
and talk about. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the important things is that we support people in supported accommodation to have meaningful relationships with other people, and if that means also then supporting people to have overnight stays, then we need to make sure that's done safely. we do have the right conversations, but very, very respectfully and confidentially. But yeah, thumbs up to double and king size beds
Yeah.
and different shapes and sizes of condoms.
Yeah. That's good.
Roll on the condoms. Right, so next question. The person I support has asked me to help them to access porn. Can I do this as a support worker? Simon, any thoughts?
So I think there's two very important points. The first point, it needs to be the person you're supporting asking you, and not the support worker asking the person, do you want to watch porn? But I think the answer is yes, they should support people if they ask. And it's important to understand that you probably need to be impartial, as in there are going to be many people who support people who maybe have certain feelings, maybe something that's to do with their religion, their culture, just personal things, and they might not feel comfortable to actually support someone to access porn. But we must try and be impartial. And if anything, if you are that uncomfortable, try and pass it to another support worker if you can.
Brilliant. Yeah, very good points. So the person has asked to help them to access porn. So do we need to like firstly find out what the person understands about pornography?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do, yeah.
you do.
And what sort of questions would you ask?
I want to learn more about porn. Can you please help me with this?
Yeah.
But some people might not understand
Yeah,
porn
yeah,
and they
but-
don't know about it, so they've got to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people might be scared or they might be nervous to speak about it.
And obviously there's many types of pornography which are legal, and the people, adults have a right to be accessing that in a safe way. We have we developed with some partners online pornography easy read resource. I don't have a copy with me today, but it's a good resource to have conversations about pornography and how to access it safely. And it also talks about whether, so we're looking at whether pornography is legal or illegal. So obviously lots of pornography that is not legal. So we need to be supporting people maybe to understand what's legal, what's illegal, and how to try and avoid accidentally accessing illegal porn as well. What other factors we sort of like to think about? So maybe asking the person about how they want to access it. There's different ways in which you access it.
Online.
Online. What other ways can you access pornography?
On the internet.
The internet,
DVD, Blu-ray, magazine.
Yeah.
DVDs, Blu-ray, magazines. So you could, down local shop or online. What other factors would you take into account when sort of having conversations with people about pornography? Just think about sort of like where they might access it.
YouTube or something, or
I'm not sure if you
have
have
it,
But
YouTube,
YouTube,
put
they
that thing on
don't,
there.
they can't show that.
no.
They can't say that on YouTube. You would never get that on YouTube.
No,
You
okay.
can't. It's impossible.
I was thinking more about, where, like, would we be, like, checking out some pornography here?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
the
might
laptop
check it on your
or the
phone or
computer.
iPad or
iPad,
phone or
phone,
laptop in your room.
Laptop.
Yeah.
You've got access
In what room?
in your own personal room.
Privacy for your own room, your own flat.
I don't know if they
You
will
can't
turn
do it
that
like
thing
in the
on
lounge and all
Facebook,
that.
will they?
No.
We couldn't do it in the lounge or that because it can be
too many people about.
And it can be explicit, can't it?
You can't have
Really
find
explicit.
that out on Facebook. They wouldn't put that on Facebook.
No, it wouldn't be on Facebook. Yeah,
You can't.
not on a public forum like that. So you'd be thinking about, is the person going to access pornography in a private space, rather than a public space where other people might be able to access it as well.
Yeah.
What else? The point by sort of we were sort of talking earlier about the support that people have and the role of the support worker in terms of who initiates that and
Yeah, so
But
sorry, Jim.
the support worker might be nervous to watch it with you.
should a support worker be watching pornography with you?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
But there can be
What can they do?
websites.
They can
research.
advise you. They can advise you.
Okay, they could support you with some
But-
aspects.
Yeah, but they can't watch it.
Support
with you.
work could
Yeah.
find websites, safe websites for you or something. Like that.
Or goes to classes or something.
So it might depend on
You can go
the policy of the organisation on what the support worker can do and what they can't do. But
I
that,
think the support worker can do research and give the person websites what's safe, like the name of the website. I think they're allowed to do that. I don't know, are they?
okay, but who would initiate that?
The person that have to ask the support worker first, because the support worker can't say they can't do that. It has to be the
So
person
so what? So the
supporting.
support worker can't say, okay, do you fancy watching some porn tonight?
No, they can't do that. It has
They
to be
can't do that.
initiated by the person they support.
Initiated by the person.
But the thing is, it's private, isn't it? As well.
It is really private, yeah.
Rather confidential.
So the support worker might be able to support with, getting access, but not to be watching the pornography with the person. And you touched on the personal values of support team members. So
Yeah, just that if someone might have personal feelings or values or something to do with their religion, and you've just got to be impartial. You've got to support that person, kind of put your beliefs aside.
really important point.
Whilst you're supporting that person, if you are extremely uncomfortable, then maybe ask another support worker to take over.
Okay, thank you, Simon.
It's important also, so if you have values that contradict with helping somebody to access porn, you also must not show it in any way that would make the person feel like they're doing something wrong, because the person has to believe that this is normal and this is part of life. It's not okay to make somebody feel self-conscious or embarrassed
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
There's
Good.
another point. You have to be careful that the person don't get addicted to going on to it and all that.
Yeah.
That's what I think as well. You have to be careful
They
with that as
might be
well.
uncomfortable with you as well. They might be scared to do that.
Or they might be embarrassed about
They
it.
might be embarrassed and
Or
they
shy
might be
or
shy
something.
or something.
So going back to these cards now, using these cards, talking about this sort of stuff in team meetings, just to break down some of those barriers and
They could do something with their support plan or something, talk about it,
yeah,
have like a plan.
have a plan of support. Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. So next question. This is a good one. Somebody I support wants a civil partnership or a marriage, and I'm not sure if they understand what's involved. What would they need to know about
You give-
being?
It's
Sorry, Jerry, I think they need to know just generally what comes with marriage, and it's important for them to know that within marriage you may actually have sex. So if you have the capacity to consent for sex, then you probably have the capacity to consent for marriage. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Simon. It's good start. Anything else anybody would contribute? But being married, being in civil partnership, and what that means.
Being married is being married. You have to. It's you two together, yeah.
Yeah.
And what you discuss together. This is what's gonna happen. Got to get married, and you don't need to have sex straight away.
What's the other commitments you would sort of be making in that sort of partnership?
I would say, listen, we're getting married, and you have to be loyalty to that person who you marry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've been together a long time, you know each other, and you're clever. So once you're married, all them words you say, you got to stick to it. That's it.
So commitment to each other, and then living together.
Yeah,
That'll be part of that.
Getting their own flat.
yeah.
Getting a flat.
I think they've maybe got to know how much the wedding may cost,
Yeah.
and the different legal things that they may need for the wedding, and also just the fact that it is a legal contract as well between you and your partner getting married, or a civil partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really important point that it is a legal contract, so it's quite a commitment. So in order to end that legal contract, where would that be? Anybody know where you would end a legal contract like that?
Divorce court.
In a divorce court. So it's quite a commitment to make those vows, to commit yourself to one other person, for the rest of your lives, really. So you want to love that person, and be prepared to share the same house, the same home, responsibilities as well. Well, what sort of responsibilities might there be?
Honest.
Children.
To be honest,
Children.
could be children. Yeah,
You need to be honest and truthful.
yeah.
Could be finances.
Yeah, finances.
Financial.
And if your
yeah.
partner dies,
Yeah.
you can get some insurance, can't you, or something?
Yeah.
Some death or something.
Yeah, so you could set up a
Married.
life
Certificate,
insurance. Yeah.
insurance money.
So lots of to think about from a legal
You
perspective.
have to
Yeah.
change your name as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ah,
surname.
I got
Yeah.
to.
Or
Who hasn't changed their name?
I'm not sure. Is it
The
the
thing is the woman.
But I don't think there's any rules around that
No,
these days.
No, but yeah.
you have to take their surname or something now, and you can have one.
So
I know somebody, and the man took the surname of his wife.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think there's any strict rules around
This is
That's it, mainly.
weird.
Women take the name, is it, or is it different?
I think that's more of a
traditional.
traditional thing, isn't it? But
Doesn't need
it's a personal choice, isn't it? I
Like,
guess.
so, like,
Personal
who actually get married?
And that can be a big
Yeah,
thing,
be-
changing your surname as well.
Pardon?
That can be a big
Mrs.
thing as
Beard.
well, change.
It is a big thing, yeah. It's sort of like a legal change.
I know a couple who both changed their surname to a new one.
Did they?
They just picked a nice surname for
Oh, wow.
themselves as a family. It's pretty cool.
That's a good idea.
So,
So the question is, what would they need to know? So we talked about they need to know it's a legal contract. They have to have capacity for sex, as you mentioned, Simon. Lots they need to know from a legal sense, and just be aware of the financial implications getting married. Even a very sort of the cheapest way you can get married through a registry
the
office
thing is,
isn't cheap.
trying to get married out of church, people get married straight away in the road office. You can
Yeah,
do
lots
that.
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go to Vegas and get married.
Yeah.
Nice and
That's
hot.
one way of doing it.
Don't
Yeah.
get any ideas.
No. But apparently it's
Just hit the
expensive
casinos
in
at the same
November
time?
zone. If you get married,
Yeah,
it's
but then Julie
expensive.
might be tempted in
No.
Las Vegas with all that women there. And all
No, that's not what I would do.
And just the thing that his
Julia,
handmaidens that they used to
No,
go to.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
thing is,
Honeymoon.
Yeah,
honeymoon.
Honeymoon.
yeah,
Spain.
nice honeymoon for
Spain. Me and Wes wants to go to Spain for a honeymoon.
Oh, that's
Where in
nice.
Spain? Costa
Madrid.
del Sol.
Madrid.
That's a nice place
Yeah,
to
Spain.
go to.
It's Madrid in Spain.
There's a point here, which I'm not familiar with, but you know, if you wanted to look into it, I'm sure you could. If one person lacks capacity, you can consider other ways to celebrate the relationship through a blessing, for example. So that's
Interesting.
something to think about.
Hand
Interesting.
fasting, maybe as well. Hand fasting.
Sorry,
Hand fasting.
hand fasting.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like when you, I don't know, it's some sort of a pagan tradition
Okay.
where you tie your hands together with like a.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like forever.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
Ceremony.
That's nice. Yeah. So, yeah. But importantly, if you want to spend your life with someone, then there are alternatives out there, isn't there? Brilliant. Okay. Right. So we have a question about sex toys. So a person living in the home I work in has asked for help to buy sex toys. So what approach should I take?
Awesome.
Over to you, Simon.
So I think first of all, as a team member, I would check the company policy and see what that kind of says, and also consult my home manager or my manager and sort of see how we approach this. I guess it would be on a person by person basis because it wouldn't be the same for everybody.
Brilliant. Nice one. Esme, any thoughts on it?
Can't think of any.
No. What about so you maybe sort of check out what the person knows about sex toys?
What to ask them?
Sorry?
What to ask them?
Yeah, would you want to check out what sort of sex toys they're thinking about or what they know about sex toys?
So if somebody asked you, if you were a support worker and someone asked you, said that they want to get sex toy, what would you check with them first?
But they know how to use it,
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
and have they ever purchased one before?
Yeah, good questions. Yeah.
Where would you suggest they go if they wanted to get sex toys?
Amazon,
Yeah. What other places?
eBay.
If it's new.
Yeah.
So not second hand then?
Yeah,
No,
no.
we're not going second hand. Good.
Yeah. What other places could we get sex toys?
Internet.
Sex shop.
Yeah, sex toys.
On
And some
internet or
shop.
Google it.
And Summers.
Yeah.
Or
And
you
some
can
parties.
Google it as well.
And,
Google.
and summer parties
You
where
can
they come
Google it on the internet and then that's how you can find these. Or you
Got
can
this?
read about it.
What's this?
It's vibrator.
Okay. So this was bought online from lovehoney.co.uk.
Love honey.
Love Honey, yeah. So Love Honey do some really good sex toys, as do Ann Summers, obviously, and I guess with Ann's. Sorry. with Ann Summers, then I guess the benefits are you can just walk into the shop in local high street, whereas most of the others are online. So you can buy sex toys online or in a shop.
Ann Summers are also very friendly about it, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good at explaining
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So one of the things you might want to find out is what sort of stimulation the person wants. And that might be looking at whether they want stimulation sort of anally or through genitals, etc. And what they've tried before, perhaps, and maybe want to try again, or maybe have some sort of different stimulation. So obviously the conversations need to be really discreet and respectful.
Doesn't know what size they sort of take or something.
The size, different sizes of toys, and what they sort of feel is comfortable for them. What's important if somebody does have a sex toy? Then what's important to sort of talk to them about?
To keep it clean.
Clean, sort of hygiene's really important. So there might be regular conversations about, making sure that people are remembering those things, because otherwise it could lead to infection. What else about sex toys? Obviously, so looking about how people use them and keeping them clean, but also making sure that if you should be using some sort of lubricant, that people got the right sort of lubricants that are safe as well.
Yeah.
You can't
Valentine's
use,
is
use baby
coming
oil.
up, and
Sorry?
You can't
buy
use
it
baby
for
oil. It has to be
Valentine's
water
present
based.
or something.
Water based,
That's
yeah.
a good
Yeah.
idea,
Mm.
Julian, for your
That's probably
partner.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was that Julian?
I said,
Oh, Gillian, sorry.
Valentine's is coming up, and get a present for a partner for Valentine's.
That could be a good idea.
For
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, good shout. So, anything else that we need to consider when thinking about sex toys?
Yes.
The only thing is, it's just like if you are buying a sex toy, it's just like sort of reading the guidelines on it so that you're using it in the way it was intended.
If I did buy a sex toy, I would go with my man, go, I'm not a support worker.
You would just
Go.
sort it out yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Because that's private. I can't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you buy it, they're going to be wondering when you use it.
Yeah,
They're going to know in their mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people who live in supportive settings will be able to, as you suggest,
yeah.
be able to sort of organise that themselves
Yeah.
and keep it completely private, and that's brilliant.
One more thing, if you buy online, they discreet, so they don't know what in the
Discreet packaging,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah.
And then some people might be more comfortable buying it in online in the actual shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think, Julian, it's more if some people need more support around that,
Yeah.
then
Support living's different because you buy. I always do things myself, so yeah.
yeah.
So that's
And I guess it's the same as like pornography. It's like the person themselves would need to initiate
Yeah.
that.
They might need support if they want to get one.
Yeah. What else? Let me see. I'll look at this prompt card. Oh, this is a good point. So the instructions. So if there's instructions that come with the toy, don't know why I'm waving this about again, but if there's instructions that if the person can't understand those, that we put the instructions into a format that the person can understand.
Yeah.
So it might be more easy read, etc.
What if they're button and they're sign language?
So yeah.
They can't.
Here.
Yeah.
So you would seek to have the information in a way the person understands, whatever way that might be. Ensure privacy, confidentiality all the time. Consider personal hygiene, the safe use of equipment. And buying a sex toy could lead to sort of other conversations about relationships, sexual health, and just because somebody has a sex toy doesn't mean that that's it for the rest of their lives. They might want to explore other types of toys, and etc. So Yeah. It's just not like a one-off conversation. Right. And final question. Final question? A person I support says they don't feel female, but they do not feel male either. They feel confused. How can I help? So, what would your first thoughts be, Julian?
It's okay.
So you'd want to reassure them that it's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'd be nervous or shy.
Yeah, so reassure them, don't be nervous, don't be shy. Because it's not unusual, is it, to feel confused about
Yeah.
your gender identity?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Nice one.
Maybe you would look around for local groups or sessions with other people who may feel the same way.
Yeah,
So you can get to know them and maybe express your feelings to people going through the same thing.
We can
Absolutely.
find support groups.
yeah, yeah.
Support groups. Yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
What are your thoughts, Esme?
Not sure really.
How do you think somebody would want to be supported if they were conflicted about their gender?
To help them through with it.
Who would you want to talk to if you were confused about your gender identity?
Someone else that's the same as them, and then for them to figure it out together
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
reinsure each other.
Good idea. What might you want to do about your name or your clothes or pronouns, things like that?
To choose carefully on what you really want and what will really suit you on what you are. And whatever you pick is what you've chosen.
Very good.
So whatever you've chosen then, in terms of pronouns, etc., then you would want people around you to respect that?
Yeah.
And it could change as well, couldn't it?
Could change over time. So
Yeah, yeah.
and you
As you explore further. So I guess one of the important things is having people around you can trust to sort of like explore, talk about it, and have those conversations in a very sort of like confidential way, a very sensitive way.
There might be some resources that you could find about different gender identities.
maybe on the NHS website or something.
Just have one
Yeah.
prepared earlier. So this booklet, which was developed by people with learning disabilities and autistic people, and supported through Achieve Together, Change and Choice Support. It's focused on transgender issues, transgender support. So not specifically around people who are non-binary, but a really good resource to have some positive conversations about just everyday issues related to being transgender. But you might want to, in this instance, just ask the person if they've heard of non-binary and what they think that means. But yeah, and maybe sort of like finding out about other maybe famous people who are non-binary. Sam Smith comes to mind.
You got that American singer.
American singer, who's that?
I've forgotten her name, but she
Okay.
came out as non-binary a few years ago.
Okay.
Ladar.
Yeah,
Ladar, that's it. And Ladar.
yeah.
Okay.
That man, Ladar.
You haven't heard of Sam Smith? Elmay. So Sam Smith,
Yeah, he's
he's
not-
English, isn't it?
Yes,
He's
he's
a
English.
singer.
He's a
Very
singer.
English.
non-binary, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's English. But his music's
And you got that comedian Ezzy Izzard. He is. No, but he likes just
Okay.
as women. I think he's. I don't know what.
Eddie Izzard, transgender?
the Boy Georges.
I think so. I'm not sure about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so you want to like explore other people, including famous people, and maybe get a understanding of, you know, their journey. But everybody's journey is quite personal. What else is this saying? So, things to consider. So thinking about how this is put together in terms of being hopefully quite accessible for many people. Thinking about the best formats to use to help the person understand the information that's available around gender identity and non-binary support. Would they like to attend groups? That's been mentioned. Do you or any of the people that support the person need any further training or support? So that's a good point about accessing more training and support to understand the issues. Consider in the future talking to them about what pronouns they would like to use, they, them, etc. And beware that the person might want to change their name to better fit their non-binary identity as well. So yeah, quite a few things there to consider for somebody who might be non-binary and want to explore their gender identity a bit more. So I think we are out of time, aren't we?
Yeah.
So lots of good conversations today. And yeah, thank you for coming along to this podcast. And we'll see you next time around. So
When's the next March?
the next one will be
In March, I think.
launched in March. And that is focused on hobbies and interests. So
Yes.
as we head,
I know what.
we're heading into the spring.
You know what? I really enjoy this.
Good.
It's good.
It's a bit long.
So see you next time around.
Yes, Michael.
yeah.
See you.
Head down.
Everybody. Adios.